Hello again, welcome back. We're going to connect everything to the motherboard on this video. And on the previous video installing the motherboard, I connected the hard drive and the solid state drive to the power unit. So this is where we are going to start today. Before we begin, a quick review. There's the pump with the 3 fans on the radiator, the 3 cased fans, 2 on the top, the solid state drive. Here in the back I have the hard drive plugged in, the back plate for the pump with the motherboard. There is the radiator, a little bit of a cable management in the back, and here is the CPU, the first thing we're going to connect today. Here we have the motherboard layout with all the components, and we're going to start with number 1, the 8-pin eATX 12-volt connector to give power to the CPU. So this is the CPU cable, and we're gonna go up here to the upper left corner of the motherboard, and you can see the 8-pin connector with 4 pins on the top and 4 on the bottom. This end of the cable is divided by 2. For some CPUs they only require 4 pins, and the other one is undivided, is the one that goes to the PSU. I checked on the pins before attempting to plug them into the port, because some of them are round, some of them are square. So, but as soon as you attach them together, they'll make sense, and all you gotta do is push them in. And there you go, is in. Now I'm gonna run this wire back here behind the motherboard. This case is awesome. It has a lot of holes back there to hide the wires, so it makes things very easy. Just organize it a little bit. I mean, it's up to you how organized you want it, but I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. I'll make it neater later. Let me show you the back. This is how it's gonna go in the back. So I'm gonna try to make it fit here into the lowest hole that the case is giving me, where I'm running most of the wires, so they will be out of the way, out of the visual way anyway. So just making a hole, push it in through, and this is just the first stage of cable management. I will later make it neater. So I'm gonna try to go in right here to run it through the middle, and with twist ties and everything, fix it as much as possible. So let's go to the other side, and here are all the other ones. There it is. There's the CPU, and that's what we got so far that I show you in the beginning of the video. So I'm just gonna grab it, and it should go over there on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. So here we go. Usually the click sound will let you know that you connected it all the way in. I ran all the wires through here before attaching them into anything, just to see how am I gonna organize them in between them. Gonna get this VGA cable right now and plug it in for the video card later on. So I'm gonna try to put it on the lower connector. It has a lot of, not a lot, it has like 4 or 5 different VGA ports. So I'm gonna try to attach it to the lower ones to keep the wires out of the visual way. Now I'm gonna connect the motherboard cable, the one that goes to the PSU. The end that goes to the PSU is divided by 2, a big one and a smaller one. You can see here. So this is the big one. It only goes here. There's no other port that it could go in. And this is the smaller one. It matches right there, so there is no way for you to get it wrong. It's just that easy. This is the cable for the VGA, for the video card. I'm just gonna put it aside and let's go and start connecting the upfront panel. You can see the long blue one, that is the USB 3 connector. I connected this one on the installing the motherboard video because it was a lot easier to me to connect it before installing the motherboard. The one on the top out of focus is the HD audio, and the one to the left is the USB 2 connector that we're not going to be using because the controller of the pump is using this USB 2 connector. The next one we're going to connect is the system panel connectors. You use this adapter that comes with your motherboard to plug them all in and plug this into the motherboard. You can see here on the motherboard layout the position where it's located is number 14, and it's called system panel 10 to 1 pin front panel 4 pin speaker connectors. Okay, so let's go. You can hear me talking to myself, but all you gotta do is watch. And that is it. It's all connected, ready to go. Let's go plug in the speaker real quick. Here is the speaker connector. One side has the word speaker, the other one is blank or black. So I plugged it like this and it worked. I don't know for sure. I didn't test it the other way, so I don't know if it works both ways. The next one to the left is the USB 2.0 connector. It's a 10 pin and is USB 1314. Is the number 17 here on the motherboard, and you can see the location down on the middle of the motherboard on the bottom. Alright, so the cooling system came with this cable. It looks like a USB cable, but it's not. It's the one that goes and divides in two, like you can see here on the left, and they go to the controllers. The controllers that control the fans, the colors, the speeds, and all that. So there's no instructions on this on the cooling system. I had to find out this by searching online. So we're just gonna connect it here on the USB 2 port. And done. The next one all the way in the corner is the front panel audio connector. It's the HD audio. It's a 10 pin and it's labeled AAFP. Here is number 23, and you can see it all the way down on the bottom left corner. Here's the side view, and the front view is a 10-1 pin connector, and this is how you plug it in. And you're done. Now let's go connect the solid state drive and the hard drive to the motherboard. These are the SATA connectors. These are 7-pin connectors, the SATA 6 gig 12, SATA 6 gig 34, and SATA 6 gig 56. Is the number 10 on the list, and they are on the right side of the motherboard. Alright, so here we have the two connectors. The one on the top goes to my solid state drive, and the one on the bottom goes to my hard drive. The picture on the right shows you the 6 connectors that you could use, and to the right of those the USB 3.0 connector. And the picture on the left shows you the wire that I have in my hands. I'm using the lower one on the picture, the flat one, and the 90-degree one header goes to the solid state drive. The solid state drive is connected, and this one here on the bottom is the one that goes to my hard drive that I have in the back of the motherboard. Here it is. The next cable up is number 9, the USB 3.1 connector. It's a 20-pin -1 connector. It's on the right side, almost on the middle of the motherboard. This one is already plugged in because I connected it when I first installed the motherboard because of the radiator being so close. The next cable up is the main power of the motherboard, the ATX power connector, the 24-pin, and this is number 1 like you saw before. It is located on the right side of the motherboard next to the RAM, and it requires a lot of pressure, so you just push until you hear the click. And push, push, push. There it is. And you're done. And now let's go connect the water pump cables. The water pump has 2 cables and they are not explained in the instructions. Here you can see we're going to use number 3, and the 4-pin CPU fan is the connector that I'm going to use. This first cable has a USB 2.0 connector. Do not connect it to the motherboard, connect it to the controller right here. And the second cable has a 3-pin fan connector, and I will connect that to the CPU fan port. So let's go do that. Here is where the fan cable comes out of. It's kind of flat. And it has the 3-pin, and it's pretty simple to connect. And I forgot to record the connection of the other cable, the one that looks like a USB 2.0, but just remember, connect it to the controller, not to the USB port on the motherboard. And that is it. This one is done. And now let's go connect the case fans controller. This is the case controller. It is an older model, and it controls these 3 fans. 1, 2, 3. And on the layout, I'm going to use this port right here. Back to number 3, CPU fan controllers. I am going to use channel fan 3. So I have to keep it there to have access to all these buttons, and I'm gonna set the connector wire back here through the hole where I have the other wires, and it's gonna come out here. Here it is, and it's a 4-pin connector, regular 4-pin fan connector, and I'm gonna use this port, channel fan 3. I'm gonna have to stop and move things around, so let me fast forward so you can see the end and how I connected it. And there it is, all done. Everything is plugged into the motherboard. let me show you the layout of everything that is connected to the motherboard at the moment. And that is it, folks. This is the end of this part. The next part will be the graphics card installation.